Welcome back, Filmholics. My name is Kyle Kenrick, and in this channel you'll find anything and everything filmmaking. Now, if you guys could do me a solid and like and subscribe, all these links and whatnot on my right. And also today we get to do a new segment in the whole schedule with the 4-week schedule, where the third week is going to be about tips, and today we do a how-to of my B-roll process. Boom. So first off, let's establish what type of shots that we're gonna be using for my B-roll process, how to and whatnot. So for my process, I usually use 5 different types of shots. I use wide angle, I use a medium shot, and close-up, extreme close-ups, and inserts. So now that we established what types of shots, I'm gonna explain them as we go along. And there are 6 steps essentially to what I do to plan out my B-roll, or to essentially in a random location start filming B-roll. So step number 1 is the only planning I usually like to do. Everything else is kind of inside my head. The first step is just in a new location. Being in a new location, you want to look for the entrance and the exit between the activity that you'll be doing during the whole time. So step number 2 is when you actually start filming. So step number 2, I like to do 2 to 3 different wide angle shots to establish the location and get people to kind of be familiar of the location, so they know what's happening, what's going on, and where it's going to be happening. And you can also do these in different times of the day. That way you have an exit point, like I mentioned before, and an entrance point. And again, all these steps are usually going to be in different times of the day, so it's kind of weird, but you'll end up planning it out as you go along anyway, because usually in an activity you can't really plan it, you don't know how the day is going to go. So step number 3 is going to be doing 4 to 6 shots of medium angles at the start and ending of the activity itself. That way you can get a good viewpoint of what's about to happen and what just ended. And step number 4 and 5 are kind of going to be in the same area. Step number 4 is basically creating inserts and getting close-ups, extreme close-ups essentially as well, of the activity itself. You want to get as many angles as you want of this and getting as many cinematic shots of this, because being close to hands and faces is really extreme for this moment. You want to do like 10 to 20 shots of this, just so that you have enough footage for later on once you edit. You don't have to use all of them, it's just so that you cover your bases basically. With that being said, the 5th step is going to be close-ups, where you get 4 to 6 shots of close-ups, creating an emotional connection and a reaction with the subject and the viewer. So it causes this like, hey, I've been there, or hey, I've done that, or hey, I want to be there type of reaction, or an awe, creating the awe and awesome basically. And finally, step number 6 is a very optional shot. You want to make this the most coolest shot, the most climactic shot, the most cinematic shot that you can possibly do, because this will cause the main event to happen. If there's a main event in what you're filming, or if there's a really amazing view, or if there's just something that's just gonna blow everyone's minds, you want to do 2 to 3 shots of this, possibly different angles or the same angle. That way you can have a clean edit and you'll find your best shot within those moments. More is always better, honestly, with filming. So this moment causes a connection as well with the viewer, where it causes them to be like, hey, I want to do that, or hey, I've been there, or hey, this is where it's at basically. And those are my 6 steps to creating B-roll. Everyone has a little bit different process. Personally, this is just mine. You could customize it almost any way you want. And honestly, personally, I view them more as guidelines, as Pirates of the Caribbean said.
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
Due to the fact that being a YouTuber, you don't really get to plan out what your videos are. You don't really get to plan out your locations, so until you're there. So you can customize these steps and how many times you film things and how many things that you do. This is just a generalization basically. So basically take them with a grain of salt and customize them to what you want to do. But lastly, the most important thing is just not to forget that you are telling a story. That is what makes a YouTube video compelling, because telling a story from tutorials to vlogs to just telling an actual short film, you always have to stick with the story. and maintaining that tone throughout your video. All of this compiled together will make your style. This will identify you. As a filmmaker, as a YouTuber, you want to identify your personality by what you shoot and how you shoot it, because that is the way that you project yourself. That is the way filmmakers project ourselves. So again, don't forget about the story that you're telling, because that's the most important part. So that's it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I'm growing. I have 3 more subscribers left until I hit the 200 mark, so that would be great if we could hit that by the next video, or when this video comes out. That'd be amazing. Also, if you guys like how this video was made, just go ahead and check the links down below it. All the gear I use is listed down there, and then if you guys do buy it from those links, it helps out the channel at no extra cost to you guys. But if you find a better price, just go for that instead. Filmmaking is expensive, and of course, don't forget to dream on.